Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rackspace Solve. Here once again, your MC, Ian Urquhart.
Please. Gosh. Oh, I'm blushing up here. All right, welcome back from the break. We have two more sessions for you here in the main room, and then we'll go to our breakouts. As a reminder, there's 3 breakout sessions, and in each one, there's 3 choices. So right now, what we'd like to do is actually hear from one of the leading technology companies and cloud companies in the marketplace, and one of our key partners in our efforts to provide the managed cloud, as we've been talking about today, and to solve the business issues together with our customers. And so what I'd like to do now is introduce Corey Hutchison from VMware.
This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Corey Hutchison. I'm the Division Vice President for VMware for our select customer segment, which is our largest and most strategic customers. I own responsibility for the geography west of a line that if you drew it from Chicago to Shreveport, everything to the left of that is my responsibility for VMware. I hail from Tucson, Arizona, but I spend part of my time in the great area of Fort Worth. So anybody here from Fort Worth? Goodness? Yes. All right. Good to go. Well, in covering the topic we're going to cover today, I guess I go forward to that topic. Yes. We're going to talk about clouds are not all the same. And before I start talking about clouds are not all the same, I always try and draw a parallel. So how many are from Texas, in the Texas area in the room? Yes? All right, good. Yeah, we can clap too if your arm gets tired. Those of you outside of Texas, let's hear it. Yeah. Lord. All right. There's one thing about Texas that I think parallels what we're going to talk about with regards to different types of clouds and how to differentiate them. And it's Texas universities. Texans love their college sports. It's part of the reason why I live here. I have 2 millennials that are going to TCU. It drew me to Fort Worth, and I learned very quickly that Texas sports is what this is all about. So how do I draw a parallel between incompatible clouds and differentiation of clouds and Texas college sports? It's not that hard. Texas colleges and universities all have a reputation. The first way to differentiate between the universities is their reputation. And they're all so proud of their reputation. None of us knows which universities we attended until we see the signal. You guys have all seen the signals, right? I came here, I couldn't believe universities have this. All right, SMU here in Dallas developed, after the Pony Express and Eric Dickerson, they developed a hand sign. The SMU hand sign is the pony ears. Has anybody seen this? Anybody from SMU here? Wow, nobody. Okay, that shows you leave after you graduate. Good for you. All right. So my kids are TCU grads. Anybody know the TCU symbol? All right. Horned frogs. How many horned frogs we got in the room? All right. This is supposed to look like the body of armor of a horned frog. That's about as close as you get with one hand. All right. TCU went to play the Aggies at A&M. Anybody from the Texas A&M in the room? All right. Yeah, couple Aggies. Good. They played TCU, who are the frogs, and they decided they'd say, go frog gigging when in came TCU. The frog gigging is a spear. So the Aggies came up with this as the frog gigging. Gig 'em frogs, right? Now it's gig 'em Aggies. But how many UT grads in here? The hook 'em horns? All right, hook 'em horns. This is my favorite one. The Horns went to the University of Houston to play the Cougars. The cougar is their mascot. They went to let the cougar out of the cage for the game. The cougar caught its middle toe, ripped its middle toe off, and the horns all mocked the University of Houston by making this the symbol of the UH. So this, if you're a UH cougar, this is your symbol. So this is how we live here in Texas. The only other way to differentiate is, aside from the symbol, is what that university provides in applications and the system and the education. There's business schools, there's engineering schools, there's liberal arts colleges. And so when you talk to somebody about differentiating the universities in Texas, it's the hand signal or it's I went to a business school or liberal arts school. So let's talk about clouds. There are simple two ways to differentiate: the brand of the cloud provider or the applications and services or fanatical support provided by those cloud providers. So we're going to talk today about applications. This is all about providing your customers the applications they need to interact with you and take advantage of the services you provide. How CIOs deliver those services more effectively with cloud providers, in this case managed cloud providers using the right kind of underlying infrastructure. And then ultimately, how their customers see them and view them differently. All right, what you've got behind me now is, it's a liquid world. The reason there's clouds in the first place is because of the proliferation now of mobile devices and the cloud. Mobile devices, useless without applications. I have two millennials. It's unbelievable to watch them utilize these handsets, these devices, these smartphones for literally everything. But those devices are nothing without the apps. The proliferation of devices, the proliferation of the apps now have made it a must to deliver that service and those apps through a cloud. But the problem is, it's very difficult to harness mobile technologies and then to harness multiple cloud types or cloud technologies. The difficulty comes in the sheer number and types of devices and operating systems, the security, not only of the device itself, but the application and the user's identifiable information. You've got fragmented data centers all over the place serving multiple apps, sometimes siloed, sometimes shared. But now you've got multiple clouds. We're building clouds to deliver applications, which now create cloud silos. So we are in danger of creating the same thing with clouds that we did with typical data centers. So what's next? You have to change the model of IT. The model of IT to serve multiple users on multiple devices effectively has to be instant, has to be fluid, and has to be secure at the same time. Instant because everything's push button. I want to go, I want to spin up a VM, I want to spin up a new app, I want to do it now. Fluidity because the users of those apps are all over the place using multiple devices, and for me to provide it in a fast-performing way, expectations of the users, I have to be able to maneuver my infrastructure to do it effectively. And last, fluidity and instantaneousness means nothing if I compromise the security of the user, the app, or the device. So that's the problem we face. VMware, in concert and partnership with Rackspace, have come to develop a brave new IT. And our customers have to adopt a brave and bold look at how they provide the services they used to provide in a very different way. Optimized for rapid development, rapid delivery, and secure consumption on any device. Sounds simple, right? Horrifically complicated. So how does VMware and Rackspace, how do they do this together as fearless innovators? We do three things. When it comes to instant, the first thing is push everything to software. VMware has made a reputation for years on our ability to abstract from the operating system, abstract from the hardware layer, and build and drive pooled resources, namely in the world of compute. We removed from the operating system, we removed from the hardware, allowed you to lay down a system of compute that anyone could take advantage of across systems. We have to now do that with networks, and we have to now do that with storage. And that's what we've accomplished to get into the software world, to allow our customers and your end users to have the agility to go use compute, network, and storage without having to be tied down to operating systems or hardware. The second thing is hybridity, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. It's a weird word. We developed it. It's nowhere to be found in any dictionary you'll ever read. But welcome to marketing. We now can take that power and move it across private clouds, cloud type number one, public clouds, managed clouds, allowing our customers the flexibility to move workloads and applications. And finally, when it comes to security, this word intrinsic. There are security solutions in the marketplace, but what we want to see is building security into the application so that when we move the application, with it comes policies, compliance, audit capabilities, all with the movement of that app. So this is where we're going, VMware and Rackspace. So the next piece is, great, Corey, infrastructure, but I'm a business person. What in the world does this mean to me? We have new business priorities, and instant, fluid, and secure has to help us meet them, or this new concept of multiple cloud management means nothing. So, what should it deliver? A CIO, head of IT, is looking for three things. I want to innovate on this new brave IT. I want to give better experience to my users than I've ever given them before. And I want to make sure that I protect myself and the asset. So, let me give an example. The Chicago Tribune broke into multiple businesses, and they started Tribune Media. Dave Giambruno's the CIO there. Dave's a customer of ours. He went greenfield, built a brand new cloud-based infrastructure for his users to deliver mass content and search capability into the Tribune Media enterprise. He did it from scratch, and he did it with this new technology. It's instantaneous to build up a new environment. It's fluid because it allows multiple users to have different experiences, and therefore he's touching on the new experience, and it's secure. What about the experience portion for most people going to multiple clouds? Allstate Insurance. Have you seen the commercial where we can take our phone and we can enter a claim? Next-gen claims, that does not happen without instant, fluid architecture. And here's one that I thought was really interesting. We have a customer in the railroad industry, old legacy business, not very forward-thinking typically technologically. In talking with them about how the problems that they were having, it's amazing to talk to a railroad and have the CIO tell you that the biggest challenge they had was safety. In the rail yards, they had had their first fatality ever in the company's history. And they totally revamped their cloud architecture to allow their employees in the rail yard to receive, by mobile device, confidential content as to how to train to work in a rail yard and to be safe, because that fatality in the rail yard was a result of lack of training. And I will also share with this, a millennial walking in a rail yard doing what? Dangerous. And it became the #1 requirement. They revamped their technology and their architecture underneath to make certain they could securely deliver educational content that was unique to them to get the job done. So that's great. We know we need to be mobile. We know we need to have brave new views, and we know the business result. So what's it look like? One cloud, any application, any device. This is how VMware and Rackspace work together to deliver innovation and security to your end users. Number one, this one cloud starts with apps. It's all about the apps, traditional apps, mainframe even, client-server architected. But how about the new apps, modernized? Native, cloud-native applications, all being developed as we speak. Where do they sit so I get agility? They sit on multiple clouds in order for you to deliver to your end users the experience they expect. That's the software-defined data center. Where we built our experience in compute, we now virtualize the network, we now virtualize data storage, and we allow agility in multiple cloud types. There's 3 cloud types. Private, which mentioned before was do-it-yourself. Public, which is do-it-yourself with somebody else's technology. And then there's the hybrid cloud, which is our vCloud Air network, or the managed cloud, which Rackspace is the expert in. Through fanatical support, they deliver the managed cloud on our technology to your customers in a flexible way. On top of these multiple cloud types, and here's the secret sauce, is the ability through a cloud management layer to manage the users, the compute, the network, all from a single place. So now imagine this. I have a private cloud. I read some IDC research just the other day that said customers going from private cloud to the public cloud often come back to the managed cloud. They go back to the managed cloud because in the public cloud, the services they expect from fanatical support like Rackspace is not available. It's all their people trying to figure it out, so they come back to the managed cloud. This managed cloud can now be managed the same way you manage a private cloud. So our enterprise customers manage their internal cloud, they work with Rackspace, they manage the Rackspace cloud, and they can go externally to other third-party cloud providers and have the same view into those workloads and those applications. And we deliver that via any device in a secure manner. So now there's the new, brave new IT that can be delivered by VMware technology with Rackspace's help. So, this word hybridity, we make it look really great in marketware, don't we? But here's the problem. When I try and move my workloads around from a private internal cloud to either a public or a managed cloud, these are the challenges I have. I often have to rewrite my existing apps. Why? Because I have to be concerned about performance. I have to be concerned about recoverability. Things like vSphere, which is our hypervisor, usually takes care of that stuff for you. But when you move to a different cloud, away goes that recoverability. And so rewriting apps is typically a problem. Integrating networks. I can smash networks together, but truly integrating them to make sure that I've got security isolation is something I have to be concerned with. Management tools. It's not hard to manage a VM on any cloud. Here's the problem. It's not hard to manage a VM on any cloud. I could use any tool I want. So off goes my standardization, and now I have skills that I have to build up in my team to support that system. So this is harder than it looks, and because of our underlying technology and Rackspace's fanatical support and their ability to provide services along these lines, we fix this hybridity problem. Because here's what hybridity typically looks like. On the left side is a private cloud. Looks pretty tempting, right? On the right side is all that gooey mess in between when you try and split it between a private cloud and another cloud type. Some things carry over and some don't. I was accused that I took this picture just before I submitted the presentation. That is not true. Okay, so how do we do it? Rackspace does it phenomenally well. Service support with underlying VMware virtual machine technology. Over 50,000 VMs managed currently by Rackspace. The way it works, your team, in concert with Rackspace's team, either goes through the vCloud web portal into the Rackspace cloud, public or private or dedicated, or can also go to the private cloud using the same tool sets, those same orchestration tool sets to manage your private environment and to work with Rackspace to manage the Rackspace environment. Now I've got hybridity. This is not easy to do. Think about the cheese on the griddle. It goes away when you have the support and the services of a partner like Rackspace. So here's what you ultimately get delivered. Choice. Multiple options for the cloud type, multiple options for service providers to provide them, whether it's public, private, or managed. You've got flexibility, data sovereignty, global reach with local coverage. Australia, Germany, Canada all have requirements. Before, there were no cloud providers that I could tie to in those regions and make it all seamless. Now you can. Breadth and depth, obviously, in vertical markets with multiple certifications to make certain that the data and the applications are certified and protected. And then validated services, over 5,000 applications today from the vCloud Air Network partners, Rackspace included, that we can ramp up very quickly to provide to you and your users. So, we've been through this, but think about it. Rackspace, 9 years on the VMware technology. They're the experts in how to make it work for you. Quality of service, 50,000 VMware VMs. We have, VMware alone, have 500,000 customers, 55,000 partners, and 4,000 service providers in our vCloud Air network. Many of them capable of different services, Rackspace capable of amazing things with fanatical support. So, in summary, we've talked a lot about this need for instant, fluid, and secure technology. How's it delivered? It's delivered one cloud, any app, any device. The best stepping stone is to walk into a managed cloud environment with Rackspace and Fanatical support to deliver that really difficult hybridity that allows you this user experience to do great things for your customers, to innovate, to give them a unique experience, and most importantly, to keep it secure. And so, in closing here, taking your applications, which again are key, building them better, deploying them better, managing them better, and extending them into other cloud environments without losing control and manageability. Extend your environment and your staff, get best performance, and ultimately the services you expect from the kind of application you're going to put in the hands of your users. So with that, a lot we covered, but I'll say one last thing. Go Frogs. Thank you.